Carlos Ghosn is gone. See what I did there? Yeah, him gone. Cut. The man has left the building. Mama, there goes that man. You may ask, how does an elderly man like Carlos Ghosn escape 24-hour surveillance from his home? Another question you may ask is, how does an elderly man like Carlos Ghosn leave a first world country through a major international airport, not an obscure landing strip or an airfield, on a private jet? Another question you may ask is, why would an innocent man flee a country where their justice system is just and fair? All very good questions, my friends. But you see, the Japanese justice system is a story within itself. Before I answer these questions, we have to look at a few things. The timeline of Ghosn and the Japanese justice system. So let's hit the Japanese justice system. It has been widely reported and understood that the Japanese justice system has a ridiculously high conviction rate. How high, you may ask? A 99.9% conviction rate. How is that possible? Well, let's see. First of all, Japan only takes cases or prosecutes cases that they know they're going to win. 2, they often coerce confessions out of persons after they're detained. So what Japan does is that they detain you, or they extend how long you're detained depending on how well you cooperate with the authorities. Now, by cooperating with authorities in the Japanese justice system means you have to confess to committing the crime or confess to the charge that they have levied against you, whether or not you feel you are innocent or guilty. So basically, you have a guy and you say, okay, let's make a deal. If you confess to this, we'll give you a lesser sentence. And this is what often reaches foreigners in Japan who get in trouble with the law. Many of them are coerced into confessions. And there are articles that have receipts to prove this. So all those persons speaking about Japan who when they come in the comments and say, Andre, you're wrong, please shut up and read the article. Thank you. Good. They discriminate against foreigners. Now, so in one case, there was a case about a Japanese man who dismembered a couple Filipino women. And he got like 2.5 years. There was a foreign man who did dispose of God. He did something much less heinous than this man and got the same time as the man who dismembered these Filipino women. And the Japanese man also, his charges were changed to not murder but to improper disposal of a body or some ridiculous thing like that. Like, really, Japan? The man committed murder. And then after he served that time, he was found guilty again because he did the same exact thing to another woman. But no, because he's Japanese, he can't do no wrong. He can't mash hands, according to what Jamaicans would say. So, with that information as well, a former prosecutor in the Japanese justice system said he was trained, okay, to believe that foreigners have no rights in Japan. You hear me? You hear what I'm saying? He admitted this himself. A Japanese former prosecutor said foreigners have no rights in Japan. Now, coupled with the fact that I had a friend of mine that recently went through a little ordeal, recently I mean like 2 years ago, an ordeal where he basically wasn't guilty of anything but was charged and basically had to come up with some money to get post bail. And no matter what he did, he was advised to just take the plea deal with the prosecution because they're not going to let it rest. He had to basically settle because, the prosecutor wasn't willing to lose the case. So they rather settle and win than carry it to court and then fight it and whatever. So, for those keeping up with Japan and its wonderfulness and utopia, like, please don't get in trouble as a foreigner in Japan because your ass will be grass, literally. So Carlos Ghosn was a Nissan CEO. Carlos Ghosn, the former Nissan CEO who brought the company forward and made good relations with France, Renault, and Nissan and did all these wonderful things, was charged for underreporting his income from about year 2000 to 2005, I think, or 2015, for some period, right? They detained him and said he did that. But Carlos Ghosn has always maintained his innocence. And now, for him to underreport his earnings, that would take a person who worked in payroll and accounting to type his salary payslip up wrong. And then when he gets it to his account, he would see a different amount. Now, for those who work in banking, if you're overpaid or you get more than you are supposed to get, the company will take back the funds out of your account and put in the right amount. Okay? That's how it works. And if you overdraft that money, the next time they'll pay you less and take the difference from his salary. That's how it usually works. But apparently Japan is different. Additionally, they said that he took personal losses in the stock market. I'm paraphrasing here, and put the losses onto Nissan. But how do you do that though? How do you take personal stock losses or whatever, trade losses, and put it in Nissan's thing? I don't understand how that works, but this is above me. They said, okay, let's post him bail. So each time they had him and they detained him for over 100 days before granting him bail. This man is old enough. So you need his food. And believe me, the treatment that you get in a detention center is not cute. There have been many cases of mistreatment and not observing the human rights of persons who are being detained in this detention center. He denied phone calls, denied everything, basic human rights. Have died there because you're guilty until proven innocent in Japan. All right. Also, they put his wife under house arrest as well. He was placed under surveillance at home and was granted bail at 4.5 billion yen, I think, of some exorbitant figure. And they seized his passports, they seized all his assets or whatever. This 24-hour surveillance apparently was only reviewed once per month. What? How do you what? You see, are you guys serious? You have a man on the 24-hour surveillance and you feel that he's a flight risk or escape threat, and you only check the tapes once a month because you feel like, it's Japan, so he will never try to leave. Listen, we foreigners like to find solutions for things. And if we think that you're going to screw us over when we know we're innocent, we're going to find a way to get out. We have to find a way. So it is alleged that Carlos Ghosn fled his Tokyo residence, listen to this now, with two men, apparently Americans, via Shinkansen to Osaka, boarded a jet plane in Osaka airport, Kansai to be exact, Kansai, KX, flew to Turkey, and then landed in Lebanon. He left the country, he left Tokyo on December 29 and was in Lebanon by the 30th or the 31st of December last year. You can't make this stuff up. This is like a Netflix original waiting to happen. Netflix, if you're going to make the story, I don't know how. And then, Japan is like, how could he leave and da 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 blah blah. Homeboy did the right thing and got held out of the country. And then he did a press conference on January 8th. He basically said that the Japanese justice system is rigged. Let us go back to this Japanese justice system and to say that there's another article indicating there's some, I can't remember his bloody name. I need to get his name. Shin Kukimoto, Deputy Public Prosecutor at the Tokyo Public Prosecutor's Office, defended the Japanese justice system. And I paraphrase. Basically, he said that each country has its own culture and its own way of doing justice. And in no way, and basically, why are you criticizing Japan's justice system because it's different? Sir, if you're denying people human rights and basically coercing persons into a confession, I mean, how is that something to not criticize? How is that justice? And this mindset is a small indication of how many Japanese people feel. They're very proud and they're very arrogant, some of them. And they are never wrong, and how they do things is the right way. And yes, it's a different culture, I understand that. But how can someone be guilty before they're actually innocent? You don't have all the facts. And why is it that you need to have this high prosecution rate? What does this prove? What does this do for you? How is that equitable? My God, I know life is not fair, and that is perfectly fine. But how can you basically assume guilt? I mean, it's whatever. Fine, I give up. Anyway, so the point is, Carlos Ghosn has fled the country. Japan is left with egg on his face, and Japan now has issued a warrant for Mr. Carlos Ghosn's arrest or to indict him or whatever the legal term is to get him back into the country, but he ain't coming back. They also basically issued a warrant for his wife's arrest because she apparently misspoke or did something to the case. I don't know. They basically mistreated both his wife. So Japan's justice system basically mistreated Carlos Ghosn and his wife. He was detained for over 100 days without speaking to his wife at all. And they wanted to coerce a confession out of him, but he refused to do it and has taken justice into his own hands and fled to Lebanon. I don't think there's an agreement between Lebanon and Japan, so he is safe there for now. I will provide an update to this story as details come available. If you like these type of videos, please ensure you subscribe. I also do fun type of videos. Ensure to watch the commercials. Watch the ads, guys. That's how I help you YouTubers make a little money. Alright, so we can produce quality videos. Alright, see you in the next video. Because guys, you're Jamaican YouTuber. Ikimacho! Ikimacho!